Good afternoon. I hope you are well and safe, wherever you are. I decided to do this new episode of Just a Thought in English, and I hope you will appreciate. The topic of this episode will be about the pandemic, climate change, but from the point of view of Morocco, of more exactly from my point of view as a Moroccan citizen. Life today, we can't live it just with our parents or with our friends or in our country only or our city. We live it being influenced and informed, and of course the impact of what is happening worldwide has an impact on us. So let's talk just for a few minutes about first the pandemic. Why the pandemic? Because the pandemic has changed the face of the world, has changed life of human being generally. Everything has changed since the pandemic has been installed. Everything, culture, social life, economic life, political life, international tensions and conflicts, everything. Our way to perceive, to understand, to see time and space too. But here in Morocco, we are, as all nations, but every nation following the context and the nature of the government, of politic power and system who is, of course, managing the country. Every country and every people, every nation is fighting and struggling all the time to win the battle against development, against climate changes. That is a new topic. It's new and not new at the same time, because climate changes today are the result of years and decades of evolution of industry and human civilization generally. The most important question now for the states, for governments, is how to keep an acceptable and adequate, a pertinent percentage of growth of the economy. How to keep, to secure society and governments too. How to preserve peace in the world. When we talk about peace in the world, there is different opinions, views. The view of the powerful countries are not equal or the same as the views and opinions and the concepts of other countries who are less developed and less powerful. Of course, interests, geostrategic interests, differs between the United States of America and, for example, Palestine, or between Russia and European Union from another side, on another side. So preserving the peace is or means generally how to keep a minimum of conflicting areas under control for the powerful countries, because they want, as you know, or as you don't, war and conflicts are they are not necessary, but they are a part of international life. We can't talk about an absolute peaceful international life. Conflicts are a normal and necessary result of differences between interests. Everybody wants to be the most strong, the dominant country. Everybody wants to be the most rich, and it's normal that there is conflicts and even war. But war with the increasing of the destructive power of weapons. War is becoming more and more dangerous for everyone. Let's talk about another side of the war, pollution. Wars are the most polluting mechanism in life. Of course, civil and peaceful life also in terms of products or production of goods too, but not as wars do. From another side, there is another battle very important. It's the battle of losing the world, is losing now noble and universal values. Material values are dominating now more and more. And this is a very dangerous problem facing the world. When people and governments are working mostly to preserve material results, material development, material values, that's to say to has material power and strength, that means that no one is now caring for goodness, beauty, cohabitation, accepting the other, recognizing the right to be different, and so on. That is a real problem. That is the most dangerous problem humanity is facing now, and nearly no one talk about it, or there is only philosophers, some writers and artists in front of thousands and thousands of others who doesn't care for this problem. Morocco, our country, who is one of the most oldest kingdoms in Africa and in the world, is facing many challenges in this period. The pandemic as everybody, but there is a very important change in politics, public politics, and diplomacy, and in development vision strategically in Morocco. This change is provoking a lot of resistance and, of course, competition from neighbors, European and African. Above all, Spain, United Europe Union, and Algeria, above all. All these countries doesn't see with pleasure this change in Morocco. And every part of those has his reason to look at us this way. Morocco is trying now to assure his future by trying to develop an independence in political and strategic decisions. Morocco is trying to be sure for his independence on many levels in the future. Level of energy, level of pollution, level of drugs and medicine, and level of food. To realize these objectives, Morocco needs new vision from his strategic partners, recognizing first his integrity and recognizing his right to be equal to other international powers. We are trying and operating on this, but facing challenges and refuse and reject of this point of view or this mechanism of political planning, developing and work is really a problem. But the will of Morocco and his perseverance and unity, I think, is the most important guarantee for Morocco about the realization of the strategic objectives planned since now at least 4 or 5 decades. This pandemic has proved to all the world and above all our partners and friends that Moroccan nation and state is able to face dangers from any part and from its any nature. Yes, the pandemic, we are among the 20 years the most powerful who are now about to realize the general immunity. Yes, in 6 weeks, maybe a little bit more or less, we will be among the First Nations who has realized general or public immunity. Secondly, and we will talk about this in details later in next videos, there are many mega projects across all national territory on which we are working, and they will transformate radically the economy of Morocco and the future of Morocco. This will need another video, which we will make soon. Have a good time, and thank you for your listening and watching. Be safe and happy.